One, those of you who don't know, James from Stacky, sure most people probably been to one of these before by now or something. Um, this quarter, we wanted to do the roundtable on AI living inside the CRM. We haven't done one of these roundtables specifically around AI yet, so this is always the topic, or the topics we pick, always based on the conversations we've had with people in this community, and this has been kind of an ongoing topic over the last quarter, maybe 6 months. Um, Reminder as always, it is a roundtable. It's not just me going to be talking at you, hopefully. So feel free to jump in with questions, thoughts, share your stories as we go. Um, Share my screen. Cool. Am I presenting? Yep, cool. So yeah, look, a lot of people probably being asked at the moment, what are you doing with AI? Maybe simply told by boards and sort of leadership, you need to use AI, you need to get AI in. I'm sure a lot of people have maybe seen examples where it goes in, it can create a lot of distraction, and it actually ends up slowing things down. And as the SDR leaders, you don't just want another dashboard to look at. So we just wanted to highlight a number of tools that are moving AI sort of inside the CRM to help surface the right information to your teams. Um, got a bit of a story on how we kind of got to this point, I think, just as the landscape from a wider perspective, and then a few examples of different areas we see it working with tool examples, and we'll ask people to share any others and their ideas. One of sort of the rules I kind of kept in mind just to sort of put the tools on this list were that it's actually working inside your CRM from your own data. The actions occur within that CRM, independent of um, lots of manual requirements. And these are tools that will limit your external logins that we know breaks up workflows for the team. The way we've kind of got to this so far is that CRMs, and what this allows is CRMs to become more of a decision engine rather than a database. Lots of tools, they claim AI, but they're just highly functional automations. And those are the tools like your typical engagement platforms, a lot of the automation tools, some of the dialers, large intent platforms like Sixth Sense. A lot of people went for those. Those were tools which your team then had to go and log into something else, and it started to break down those workflows, um, create noise. That creates the breakpoints. Um, and I'm sure a lot of people have already been in that position before, right? Dave's nodding his head. I'm sure other people been in that position or seen that. Anyone sort of bought what they was told was an AI tool, and it really just gave you another dashboard, gave your team more stuff to think about rather than helping.
Think it's everybody, right? I think we're getting we're being sold a lot of this at the minute. Um, but I know, yeah, that's just on my end.
Yeah, cool. We'll move on. After that, then I think Signals has maybe started. Yeah, it's definitely become more prominent language, and I'm sure a lot of you will be hearing that all the time. Then revenue intelligence, revenue orchestration also started to become more and more prominent. Um, and I think that is part of a lot of the companies that I mentioned before, those engagement platforms, those intent platforms, realized they hadn't really sold it in the right way, and they were giving people more work rather than supporting. Um, and what we do at Stacky, what we're seeing, the tools that actually are making a difference to how efficient your teams can be, getting them all the right data they need so they can get back more capacity. They are limiting the distractions, and they are now starting to actually just operate by monitoring everything within the CRM, taking the right data, maybe filling in gaps, and giving your teams back that capacity so that they have more data at their fingertips and they can actually just get on with prospecting. And one of the things, so I think the guys at Titan X said this to us, and we've been saying it to a lot of our users and visitors at Stacky, is actually like you don't want to be paying reps to not speak to people. Um, and so if you can get some AI reading off your actual data inside your CRM, that's the next sort of frontier, and it's having a real impact. So three areas we can see this really start to work. The first area, data enrichment, data surfacing, and insights. All of these tools on screen will do one or two of the things here, but they're capable of actually now sitting inside your CRM. So a good example is sort of loan scale. Several people in this community have come to us and asked about like data enrichment. And actually, instead of looking at a new data enrichment tool, first question is how much data is already in your CRM? And then you might just need a tool that actually like loan scale that can sit inside your CRM, monitor all the gaps, and will go out, find the right information, automatically update that, fill in all the blanks so that your team don't lose that time through manual tasks. Upsell can do sort of similar. Lusher, a tool here that everybody will be familiar with, now is able to also do that. So you can just plug it straight into your CRM. It will consistently find any gaps in account fields, contact information that might be missing, or that's out of date, and it can automatically update that for you. I'm sure people familiar with Clay, ChatGPT. Anybody got first-hand experience with those tools? Anyone think there are any other tools that they've used that should be on there? This is a session for everybody to share, guys.
Yeah, I'll go, James. I'm in the back of a cab though, so it's just not the best. Do apologise. Um, yes, I mean, we use Lusher,
Mm.
and one of the biggest things. It obviously it's great. But one of the biggest things that you said there, which to be fair, I didn't even know about, was like updating the outdated stuff. So I knew we obviously get it, putting in new data on like a regular basis and updating it, but actually like removing outdated stuff is,
Mm.
because yeah, I mean, nothing worse for like an SDR, like, you're hammering phones all day, finally get through to someone and it's like an outdated number and things like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know. So that's super helpful.
Yeah, that was one of I think the features called smart lists. Um, so ask your Lusher rep about it.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that a real time thing? Like, or so it will just continuously update, or is it kind of like a download and
No, it will do it automatically. I think you may need to set the parameters around if it's always on or if it does it like a snapshot once a week. But you don't have to go and export anything and put it in there. It will just go through the records and do it for you.
and then getting like a build like end of the month kind of consumption model
Yeah,
style? Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
Those types of consumption models as well. If you've got some stuff like that working, that's a good point, Dave. Like I would double check exactly what those consumption models are and how much data you think these tools are going to have to go through, because otherwise you can rack up a load of cost. People are familiar with that with Clay, right? Cool.
I don't have any um what's the word in the fight? Like I think I looked at loan scale for the company that I was doing the interim job for. Um and it was really interesting to see how they were building it out in having it in one view as well, just or in your Salesforce instance.
Yeah,
And then you could have enrich everything in there. And then also start building out account mapping as well, which I thought was really cool, especially if we're trying to move a lot of companies moving into that more of that platform play.
yeah,
That's a real cool thing to see.
yeah, absolutely. It just stops that distraction, those bottlenecks, jumping between things, multiple Chrome extensions, whilst people are on LinkedIn, like all of that gets greatly reduced. Cool. Second area we see like a good use of AI within your CRM is obviously conversational AI coaching and sort of call insights. Second body, Hyperbound, really great for sort of that conversational AI, and Nooks and Orem have that inbuilt. Win gives you like actionable feedback prompts whilst you're actually on a sales call, but they all do that by scanning any notes within your CRM, any call recordings that get put in there, transcripts, um, against prospects, against deals. So you can turn these on, attach it to your CRM, and then they will continue to make, monitor all of that information. And then when you get onto calls with people, or they can go and train AI personas, and all of that cuts down a lot of the admin time for you as leaders having to go and find that information and then decide what type of coaching needs to be done for each rep. Hive Perform, similarly, will look through all of the notes, all of the tasks, sort of time between deals, notes within the deals, and then that actually surfaces the types of training in regards to in reference to methodologies it recommends for each rep, and can then even go as far as scheduling those things for your reps. So for example, it could look at notes against the prospect, and then it will say, oh, James needs practice gap selling, and then put me through to a course or whatever you might set up as SDR leaders. Rocket Phone, anyone who's spoken to me and you use Salesforce, I've probably told you to check it out. But whilst people think of it as a dialer, it is actually an AI note taker and can sit on any dialers you use, any phone systems you use. It will transcribe in real time, fill in any object fields you want within your Salesforce instance, and then can trigger the right tasks, the right automations and stuff, so your reps can just move straight to the next call. Any other tools sort of in this category that people have seen using AI really well, or if people think I've missed or got any questions?
Not necessarily, but I was going to ask you a question. Just like you obviously spoke a lot about there about the note taking aspect and removing those tasks. Whilst I think that's great, like, do you are there different like variations of that? Because maybe like sometimes I worry about taking like too much of the note taking manual process away from the SDR, where they're actually like losing skills there. But like,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, I guess the risk with some of that is you kind of reduce maybe like some skills around like critical thinking, knowing what's valuable and stuff. But yeah, I know with Rocket Phone, you'll be able to set like what stuff you want it to listen for, and then how sort of where those notes go in the CRM, how concise you want them to be and stuff like that. But you can also just get the full transcription in there in another box. So
Yeah.
I think if it's me, and it's similar with all of those types of tools, I would just have it capture like the absolute must like no qualification. So like minimum number of users, if that's a thing, or like timestamp. And then I'd have the full transcription in another box and ask the reps probably to just check it all.
Yeah.
Anybody got first-hand experience with some of the conversational AI pieces? Because that's kind of one of the newer tech tech pieces on the market, which is getting more and more prominent, I think.
Is Andy? Yeah, Andy's there. I think Andy, you'll find out that the company that you're going to be going to, they have Hyperbound, so you might want to check up on that.
Nice.
Just so you know.
Knowledge.
Yeah, it's but the other thing on this as well is people are starting to build out their own apps as well on call coaching.
Yeah,
And there's those kind of like vibe coding stuff. Somebody was showing me yesterday that they can build their own conversational intelligence app for like dollars.
really.
Yeah, Replit.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Replit. I nearly had that on here actually.
yeah, and you can like build that your own if you want to learn about coding and stuff, and it's just prompts,
Mm,
and then it will build it out. That was quite interesting to see as well.
yeah, not at all. I'd give your SDRs.
Just imagine that.
They'd all just be vibe coding like nuts
Fuck.
things
Yeah.
instead of picking up the phone, right?
Yeah.
But in fact, actually, Win on here they talk about vibe selling, which I think is a bit gimmicky, but a very good tool for anyone here who has SDRs to actually do some of the discovery calls and stuff, based on notes and examples and things within the CRM. Whilst they're on that call, it will surface on screen little prompts. Say, refer to this customer, mention this, ask this type of question, which can be quite powerful. Final area where we are seeing like a good use of AI as it sits within your CRM is sort of that deal buyer revenue intelligence. I feel like those three are slightly interchangeable at times, but these will essentially monitor all of the notes, activities, timestamps across your deals, your contacts, and the opportunities. I should say real time, not real team. Um, and then can proactively prompt, create tasks, suggest what needs to happen next on deals and opportunities. So that, that classic scenario of coming in the morning, they've got their tasks already laid out. They might have 2 or 3 tasks across some deals that they need to action, need to pay attention to. And they can also, N8N is a good example here. Like you can use that to set all of this up, but you can also set up some workflows with it that will sort of monitor for signals, and surface those back against the deals.
I actually use Fireflies, and it puts all the things that I owe in HubSpot and puts them as a task. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, see, it's perfect, right? And it
Yeah.
also put the full transcript in there against contacts, against deals and stuff for you.
Then I asked Fred, which is their AI, I say, hey, can you write an email for me as a follow-up based on what they asked for? And you could spend 30, 45 minutes trying to write a really nice message saying, thanks for the time. Here's what I heard you say. Here's what I owe you. That takes me a while because I'm doing a lead gen company, so I don't have like 20 people to do this.
Yeah.
So talking to your AI like a 2-year-old works because they'll do exactly what you tell them if you tell them what you really want.
Yeah.
Fireflies
Yeah,
is like 220 a year, 250 a year.
Yeah, it's really cheap. Yeah. Fathom's similar. Do very similar. Maybe
what's Signal?
Signal will look at all of that information within the CRM and then surface, but will also monitor for like job changes, funding, and signals that might be happening out on the rest of the internet to then surface back to you if you haven't already like picked up on that in your deal notes, for example.
Yeah.
So you can pick up a bit more information. You might have a task for, I don't know, follow up with this deal. It's been a week, but it might also be able to say, actually, this has just come up in the news on this deal. Wasn't in your last conversation. On your next call, bring this up, or might be worth asking about, stuff like that.
So Salesforce and HubSpot don't have. I know HubSpot had some sort of AI in there, but they don't have something like a Signal AI that's kind of part of the software, or no?
HubSpot, I don't think do right now, unless they just. I have to get back to you on
They have
that.
something in there. Yeah.
They have something in there, but I don't know what level it will do that to yet.
It should be your best friend at this point for how much money the CRM charges.
Yeah, and that's the thing, with for most people, it racks up such a cost, and if if you're just looking for that one feature, you suddenly have to go up to like 2 licenses. And you have
Yeah.
to also then get it for all different people, and you can rack up a big cost, especially in HubSpot.
Or HubSpot, yeah. I just get the $28 a month five person starter one.
Yeah.
The free one's actually pretty good too, but I mean, when you're talking about some of these companies on the call, even they have 20 SDRs and 30 reps. That's going to be like 20,000 a month, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Forget about it.
Momentum's a good is quite a good one to look at for. I think Momentum
Mm,
can do all of this stuff, but it's
mm.
also, if you know, when people go back, because I'll share this afterwards, was on the couple of the previous slides as well. So Momentum have really focused on being, I don't know what buzzwords people want to use, but revenue intelligence, revenue orchestration, but one of those tools that can sit within your system and do a lot of that work, surfacing a lot of it and automate tasks off the back of it, automating email follow-ups and stuff like you say.
The signal stuff or buyer's intent type stuff, I find to be a way better messaging approach than, hey, I see you worked at Xerox for 15 years. Congrats on your
100%.
awesome. It's like, dude, that's AI
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
Say, I did want to say, are you going to Inbound 2025 to like 3,000 of my connections? I just wanted to see what your thoughts were. By the way, I went to SaaStr, which is another conference. It was pretty good.
Hmm.
How's your year going? I had 600 responses in 45 meetings. I'm doing that versus trying to
Nice.
be too cutesy on AI.
Yeah, yeah.
With not, you got to earn the right to ask questions. You just ask a simple question, then you can kind of get the ball
Hmm.
rolling. Know how
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
date.
Relevance over personalization, I think, is still
Yeah.
still way better, and that's why signals, I think, has become
Yeah.
much bigger thing over the last few months or last year, especially
Yeah.
as intent was maybe missold before that.
Scraping other events. Hey, they're going to an event. They probably would want to go to your event,
Hmm.
or asking about the event. That's like the signal data you can ask. That's not really it's their opinion
Yeah. On
versus
events as well, Replit is a pretty good tool for one of my customers. We built Replit, so whenever they go to an event
how
now,
you spell that? How you spell that?
Replit, Replit.
Real clear.
So they built a workflow that will scrape the entire website for the event, qualify, size of team, all that type of information that they need to make sure it's ICP, and then push the ones that fit the ICP into a list in HubSpot, and then they just enrich it. Reps start calling, and that all happens on autopilot now. Once they put the
So
domain in the tool.
Replit looks at an event and then pulls everything that what companies are going behind the scenes, and because if you don't
It
have that
has to be,
opinion,
yeah, it has to be publicly. That they have to have a list on their website of maybe who might be attending or sponsoring and stuff like that. But it
mm.
will scrape the website if that's there, pull that in, qualify what's the ICP, and then push that into a list in HubSpot so that the reps can just start prospecting.
It's a couple of Chrome, what do you call it? Chrome
Chrome
extensions that
extensions, yeah. Instant
do it.
data scrape is a good one.
I've actually used ChatGPT and put the URL, and it did something similar to Replit.
Hmm. Yeah, nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take over the
Ah,
call.
well, maybe we should catch up after and talk about a few
Yeah.
tools. But those are the 3 areas I kind of wanted to raise and flag, as we've seen like a lot of these tools, which maybe some of them are like the lesser known tools at the moment, but they will sit inside your CRMs and they will distract your reps far less than maybe the previous generation of tools, which is asking them to log into other things, giving them more Chrome extensions and all that type of stuff. So where maybe your boards, maybe C-level are asking you to look at AI for the team, use AI more. I think enough of us have probably gone through the experiments of like using tools which actually just broke the system, caused more bottlenecks, and pushed our teams back and forth between 2 or 3 different tools. A lot of these tools tick that AI box, which can keep the maybe C-level or the board happy, but they will not break sort of your SDR's way of working right now. It will actually set them up right, will give them more information and more data, but they can still just work consistently through their list within CRM. All of our contact details and stuff are here. Anybody who has more questions, wants to reach out, feel free to do so. Also on the Slack channel. And yeah, that is kind of it. Any other thoughts people had? Am I still sharing or not?
Yeah, you are, mate.
Okay, cool. Do I stop sharing? There you go. And that was kind of a highlight reel for everyone. Back to
Thank
you,
you so
James.
much. Thanks, James. Really, really useful. I'm not really using much of AI myself because we have just several people really so far, just doing it on our own manually. So far it's working, but it's a matter of time until obviously we will start using a bit more AI. We are using obviously ChatGPT and everything, but not like in the license-based usage, just ad hoc really. But yeah, really useful, especially for the conversations and conversational AI, as you call it.
Yeah.
I've never used anything like that before, so really, really interesting to find out today about it, that it exists actually. So thanks for education.
All good. If it's maybe you haven't done a lot of exploration into sort of using the AI tools and stuff at the moment, I think one of the best places to start is maybe some of those data enrichment options and then the conversational AI. Because the data enrichment can run in the background, has a powerful impact on your team, obviously. And then the conversational AI, everyone will be familiar with sort of role plays and practice pitching with their teams, right? And this can just set all of that up on autopilot by putting stuff out of the CRM, training an AI persona.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers, James.
All good, mate.